life is such an interesting journey when you've just been able to travel, experience, work, meet different people, within the years of your life. And depending on what type of business that you have or just whatever your purpose is in this world, paths cross each other. They come and they go and meet many people with different philosophies and experiences with life. And a lot of times it's not these big, eloquent conversations that you have. You could get a lot of things from, and when I say things, you could get just a lot of, I guess you could call them things that just stop you in your track and just make you think. And sometimes it's not from the people that's, have this look of success and, all the status symbols. Sometimes it could be from a child. It could just be from somebody economically challenged at the time. Just trying to get a sandwich standing outside of a convenience store. The reason I bring this up, because I was in LA at one time. I just graduated out of college. And by the way, graduating out of college, for me, it wasn't a 4-year thing. It was one of these extended things. Because I tried to, I thought I was just on top of things where I could play the student and I could play the man about the town. We're going to say it like that. It took me 8 years to finally get my degree. But that's not a bad thing, because you're going to find out in your journey of life is going to happen. Life is going to take you if you allow it. And just go with the flow. Don't whine and cry when everything's not going your way. Just work with what's in front of you and keep going forward. You're going to find that life is preparing you for what's coming up next. Getting back to my story, I graduated from college. I had a friend, he was at the time doing well in Los Angeles. He flew me back to Los Angeles when he came into town to visit his family for me to stay a couple of weeks. And that was a pretty awesome graduation gift, I'm going to call it. I got to see, enter into Los Angeles in a different level, a different branch on the tree, we're going to call it. Because there's many branches on a tree, especially when it comes down to how I see things, how you see things, how they see things. It's just where you are on that branch on the tree. You see, from what's your vantage point of looking at something. So anyway, it was really cool, we touched down, we landed when we came from home and everything. His wife picked us up in this Rolls Royce, and pretty impressive, because, at the time, my mindset, it was always something I just kind of dreamed of. And it's so interesting, all the way back from elementary school, that kind of stuff just fascinated me. So anyway, one day we was about to town. It was kind of evening time. And it's just interesting how you don't know when prolific things will come, what time of the day, where you are, what's going on. You know, they just come. But you got to have your head clear where you can catch it, you can hear it. And that's going to get to the point, and then I'm going to go on with the story where when I meet somebody, rather in business, out in the street, and it's a conversation somehow to be had, I give my undivided attention. Because, you know, a lot of us, you know, we're all smart people. You know, and sometimes, you know, we could get into the mindset where it's all about us. You know, with our degrees and our successes and our notches on the belt. We become expert philosophers on life to talk to people. But sometimes it's not about you giving. Sometimes it's a message to be a message to be delivered by somebody else to you at the time. You know, and that's that mindset and that whole deal is when you in tune with nature. You know, and you flowing with nature. You know, so you know it could be either way. It could be something positive where I could uplift somebody that day or make somebody feel good. Or, you know, it could be one of them things where without me knowing, it's a message to be delivered to me. You know, smart guy, well, you need to stop and think about this. Or here's something extra on this journey you're about to go on. Here's a tool to put in that tool pouch, in that tool bag, or that tool pouch, whatever you call your deal, your tool box. Here's a little something to put in there. Anyway, to go on with the story. So we pull up to a convenience store to get something. We're in South Central LA. You know, we pulling up. I'm feeling good. We're in a Rolls Royce. We kicking it. You know, feeling good. We all came from not very much, and we all did things trying to make it. You know, so we feeling good. And I was about to go walking in the store, and this guy, you know, he was economically challenged. He asked me, could I spare some money? I spared, to help him out. I kind of paused, and I looked at him. You know, I'm feeling a certain way. I mean, I'm a black guy out the South. You know, you a white guy in LA. What the what? So, and I kind of brushed him off, you know, because I was looking. I've always been a person that give people eye-to-eye contact, and I've just been always open. Like I said in the past and earlier, it ain't so much all the message I got to give somebody and my piece of success, pieced up success story. Maybe somebody got a message to deliver to me. And lo and behold, that was the case. And that's been probably about almost 30 years ago, and I never forgot it. Hey man, everybody gotta have a gimmick. you know, check that out. Hey man, everybody gotta have a gimmick, kind of hunching his shoulder. And of course I smile, I ain't no guy to be mean mugging or, in this stance where I'm not attracting people, Because when you're a hustler, you're a business person, or, you trying to come up, you trying to attract people. Mean mugging, that I don't know where that comes from, but that don't attract nothing. It just repel people. And we both smiled about that anyway. And it just stuck with me up until today. And it always come to play in my pursuit of becoming financially secure, entrepreneur, or, as it stands now, I'm gonna leave a general term. I'm a factory worker. So when I think about that, when I'm doing things, especially when it pertains to my side money, not my main constant job. And let me tell you something about that main constant job. You need that. Okay? Let's not dismiss that. I'm not going to work for nobody else. I want to work for myself. You need that if you trying to keep a roof over your head, you trying to, come up, you trying to get somewhere, you need some constant money to be able to take care of some things where you could have a clear mind to be able to deal with your individual thing, your entrepreneurship, your thing you want to do, to create alternative income for yourself. In that pursuit of doing my own thing as a sideline, I'm constantly reminded from that day in Los Angeles where everybody gotta have a gimmick. And so now, fast forwarding to where we are now, the people that step outside the box, step outside this formula of follow somebody else, they become the really successful people. That's because, and I'm just speaking for myself, number one, you don't have very much to work with. So when you're in a position where you don't have very much to work with, well, it's amazing what you can come up with. It's just like a mother or wife going into a kitchen. You tired, you done been all that work. You come home, you don't want to go out no more. You might not, you might be economically challenged. It's amazing when them kids got to be fed, you got to be fed, or your husband work out, got to be fed. Would you take what you got and you make a hell of a meal with? So it's the same thing, applying at the business. You take what you got and you just work with it. And instead of whining, complaining, and looking for this old perfect recipe that the world and put out here for you to go by for success. a lot of time it don't work like that. And then you get out here and you really get to a certain level of life and understanding. You're gonna find out that the rules been set, that you all balled up in a knot where, I gotta have a building, I gotta have a business card, I gotta have a bankroll to start a business. You gonna find out all your successful businesses, they operating by a different rule. They operating by a rule with a rule of just trying to come up and working with what I got. You'll be surprised how creative you could be when you're in that position. So in essence, sometimes that's the best position you can ever be in. And that's the one you're whining and crying about. And sitting up there not doing nothing, not moving. You're in the best position to be a successful entrepreneur. So, oh man. I could tell you about all you Fortune 500 companies. And a lot of people know this. For the people that don't, never thought about it, whatever. I worked for Hewlett-Packard in Silicon Valley. That's one of the major electronic, they make test equipment, computers, HP, right? They started in a garage at somebody's house. Amazon, they started in a garage. My career, I started in the backyard on the other side of the garage in my dad's TV shop, learning electronics from a kid. Right now, I'm doing something where my office is, when we first got this place, my wife said, well, this is the breakfast nook, this, that, and the other. I'm looking at, well, that's going to be the office right there. We ain't going to focus that much on food. We going to eat what they call a formal dining room. Well, that's what we going to eat. We're going to eat at that table. We're going to bring out the good dishes. We ain't saving no dishes. We ain't saving none of that for company. We eating off that every day. 'Cause a lot of time company never come. Everybody, and they in their own thing, trying to make it. Trying to uphold their status symbols. They up there trying to uphold what everybody think about them. They up, when when it all boiled down to everybody trying to make it. Ain't nobody thinking about you. I'm over here trying to pay the bills and, trying to secure myself for retirement for myself, ting, 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 the shiny car and the shiny rims going down the street. You looking good, you feeling good, but shit, man, you got a note. You give me that money there and I flip it and make it 5 times that money, what you paying. You know what I'm saying? When you get through paying for that vehicle. You ting-a-ting-a-ling-a down the street, look at me, all kind of things going on, trying to pay them bills, man. And you looking good, you got all the status symbols, stuff like that, man. Shit. Man, let me tell you, the real deals, like me. Man, I stay in the backdrop till I get my stuff together. Every now and then, I might pop up to the forefront a little bit, as I progress and have successes, just for a glimpse, just to look out, raise my head up out that hole in the sand and look up for a minute. But you know what, though? I'm going back to grinding. immediately. I ain't doing this. I'm back to grinding because time passed so fast. And if you don't take care of business along the way, man, before you know it, you go to 32 to 55, man, in no time. Especially when you got children, you're busy trying to bring them up. They go blocks of time, 5 years, 6 years elementary school. Hey, we got to get them through elementary school. Okay, now we got 3 years. I got them through Okay, get them. We're looking forward now to graduation. But you know what though? When you get to graduation, that's a block of 12 years of your adult life that's you spent looking back, not wasted, but that's a 12-year block you can add on to your young 30, 35. The whole thing I'm trying to say is life just be moving like that and time be moving like that. So you got this current thing in front of your face that you must deal with. But then you need to have some insight always to have some stuff that you looking forward to paying for down the road. And and those things there take some away from the crowd moments. Those things take some late night burning the oil. Those things take some behind the scenes. Nobody don't never know. They never know what you was doing. It ain't glamorous. But when time pass and circumstances and life happens and all these good things, you want to be secure in your foundation. You want to have independent children that take care of themselves. That's one thing that a piece of knowledge that was dropped on me years ago. People that have independent children, they can accumulate wealth. People that don't have independent children, it's hard to create wealth. On an average family, it's hard to create wealth. So before you know it, it's a time where you think they're out of the way or should be out of the way. They're still there. And now you getting older, you starting to slow down. When you slow down, it's just like retirement. Let's talk about that, retirement. People talk about retirement. It's like you're going into this golden era of your life where, I done spent 20 years, if you're lucky in these days and times, 25, 30 years with this company. And my big payback gonna be, I'm gonna sit at home and they're gonna send me that same paycheck, man, for the rest of my life. Wrong, because if you don't put aside and sacrifice as you go along, what you spend, put some money back, it ain't gonna be there. Because in most cases, if you lucky, and I'm watching that has faded away. It ain't no more pension plans. You can forget it. I was lucky. And there's probably some out there where some people gonna be lucky. But in most cases, the way I kind of guesstimated, in my mind, it's almost like a third of what you used to make. So you need to tack on to what you can save, what they call 401k, whatever. That's all on you. And that's depending on how you do that. Before or after taxes. That's what you're going to have. Then you say Social Security. Well, okay, you add that on there. You know what I'm saying? So now I add this on top of that. You got dependent kids. And all y'all got to live off of that. We're going to add something else to it. Prices of goods and services steady goes up, and that's a fixed income. Okay? So with that being said, for the younger people that's listening to this conversation, and that's what it's directed for, me to try to, give back, because life ain't worth living unless you're helping somebody. So look at it as help. Put you some money back. Save your money. I had this guy, he told me once, he said, we was riding because of the nature of our job, we maintenance men. So he told me, he said, you live off what you bring home. So what he was saying is, and he elaborated on it basically. He told me, he said, if you take everything home, you're going to need everything home to live. You're going to need everything to live, everything you make to live. He said, you put some of the money up. Like when you get your raises, you get your little different, step increases, just different raises and stuff. Don't take that home. You put that up in your 401k, wherever, the savings is hard to get to. You put that up. Don't never bring that home. He's saying y'all will be able to live on what you bring home. So when you think about that, in most cases, okay, this ultimate job you get, well, what you was doing before you got that job? You probably was making half, we're going to be conservative, half of what you're making on this better job, and you managed to make it. So don't get excited. You're going to make it, put some money up. And being an entrepreneur, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about banks. And it's just my personal opinion and my personal experiences. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to have your own working capital, no matter what it is. A stack of ones will be the stack of nones. So at least you got a stack of ones to try to work with to make more money. And I'm going to tell you what. You go up into this bank, right? Okay, you the first one in the universe and came up with this great idea. And it's so good to make money. But of course, all them great ideas come when you ain't got no money to make no money, right? So here we go. I'm going to go to the bank. Put my best face on, everything. We going to the bank. And the bank, he going to require your business plan. He going to require, where your finances at. He going to require all this stuff, right? And, you walk out of there, it's a good conversation. I'm on my way. He's smiling, he happy, but you're going to find out why he happy later in this conversation. You go back and you document all this stuff in detail. Where my source is at. Who I'm going to sell it to. My projected money I'm going to make. And this, that, and the other. Right? So you come on back. And you lay it on out there. You did the work. You feeling good about it. And I'm going to get back with you. That's the banker. So when he get back to you, you're going to get this thing And I learned this from the flea market. I'm young, and I'm going to elaborate on that after I tell this story. He going to give you all these reasons why he can't give you the money, right? Okay. Ain't nothing I could do about it. I accept it, go back to the drawing board, disappointed, of course. But you know what? It's a bigger disappointment down the road. And a bigger disappointment down the road, whereas he done gave his brother-in-law, cousin, business associate, your business plan, your niche that you finally found in this market out here, he done gave it to them and gave him the money to freaking blow it out the water. So yeah, it's gonna be a delay, but give it 6 months to a year, you'll see your idea manifest itself down the street, somebody else behind it, getting paid. Because you had a great idea, right? So the whole thing to that is save your money. Build, parlay your money as you making it. You making a little money, parlay that into $10. Take that $10 and parlay that into $30 and build up your own money. Because time and time again, they're going to steal your idea because you ain't got no money. Now, the source of this story is I was probably in my early 20s, early to mid 20s. So, came from the TV shop. My dad always got these magazines and these flyers, was introducing them to buying car stereos, buying all kind of stuff, wholesale, reselling, which at the time, he wasn't interested in that. But at one time, my dad did sell Zenith. He sold those home stereos. He sold Zenith TVs. He sold all that stuff. Go down there to a distributor, and pick them up. He'd buy a quantity at a wholesale, and he was able to make money. So anyway, I've done seen all this growing up too. So he had all these magazines, and at the time, I was doing my internship working in California, in Silicon Valley, and I came back, and I had some money I wanted to invest, turn over instead of just using it and just dissipate in front of my eyes. I always believe in if I got some money, you give me $2,000, and something come up where, I might want to do something cost $1,500. I ain't gonna spend that $1,500. I'm gonna take that $2,000 and try to make that $2,000 $10,000, and then spend $2,000 or $1,500. You see, and I still got working capital to go forward. I'm not gonna spend my last money on ease and leisure things, and come back after that's all over that moment. All I got $500, So anyway, I came back, and the way my mind worked, it's almost, I don't know, sometimes I wonder if it's like my grandmother. She was said to have one of those photographic type minds, she remember a lot of things. Anyway, I pulled out these books and I started looking, and I took the chance to go ahead on and invest. And I bought all kind of things, man. All kind of novelty things, all kind of stuff that would be kind of like show things, stereo systems for the vehicles people was looking for at the time in my area, young people. And I went out here to this flea market and set up my little booth, had my little rent and everything. Great idea for the time, everything. It wasn't a good month later, the man that owned the property, well, he owned the property, right? he just walk around and look at what's selling, what's hot, what's not, as I see it. And lo and behold, he took the whole back end of that store and made a stereo shop, an electronics shop, basically a car stereo shop. And it just overpowered my little booth I had. I guess what I'm saying in this thing, being an entrepreneur, is you got to protect yourself all the time. And the only way you protect yourself is one of the main ways that I see is have your own money. You know, do your own thing. You know, work your way up, build your own way up. So by the time anybody figure out that has money, that's waiting and looking to come and just steal your idea because you run out of gas, you run out of money, you run out of gas. You so far along they can't do nothing with you. You got registered trademarks, you know what I'm saying? In this modern day, you got everything, you got a brand built. You know, everything associated with that name. You know, emails, your site, just everything. You got it locked down, but they can't steal your stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Thank you for letting me have some of your time. You gotta have a gimmick. Everybody gotta have a gimmick. You know, on this one note, and I'm gonna go. I was having a conversation the other day about the prices of things. You know, I don't get caught up in whining and crying about that. And the reason being is because from my electronic service business to my online parts business and having a main job, my philosophy is charge whatever you want to charge. Because you know what? I pay you. I got a service to offer, or merchandise to offer. Somebody gonna pay me. One of my older insurance friends, he retired from the insurance business. That's what make the world go round.